Wow, now that is awesome. When it comes to impressive railroad machines, this thing pretty much takes the cake. Now some of you may be wondering, what on earth is that strange contraption? Well, my friends, this is what's called a rotary snowplow, or more specifically, a steam-powered rotary snowplow. Railroads used to use these devices pretty regularly in the wintertime for clearing snow from the tracks when the drifts were just too high for the smaller plows to suffice. These days, not too many railroads use rotaries anymore, and very few of the steam-powered ones even exist, let alone operate. One of my favorite tourist railroads, the Cumbres and Toltec Scenic Railroad, which runs over a 64-mile stretch of track in northern New Mexico and southern Colorado, actually has two such plows. The 2020 excursion season marks the railroad's 50th year of operating as a tourist railroad, and so they wanted to do something really special. In 2019, they announced that they would once again be restoring their rotary OY and operating it on a winter photography trip over the railroad prior to the 2020 operating season. I was fortunate enough to get a spot on the trip, so I headed off to Chama, New Mexico for this historic event. Let's take a look at Rotary Plow OY clearing snow from the railroad for the first time in over 20 years. On Friday, February 28th, the railroad was gearing up for the two-day photo charter in Chama, New Mexico. Ticket holders were able to check in at the depot where they received a lanyard and name tag, a commemorative pin, and a yellow safety vest. Late in the morning, the Rotary was brought out in front of the depot for display. Rotary OY was the last of 4 rotaries purchased by the Rio Grande for clearing snow over various mountain passes on the railroad's narrow-gauge system. OY was built in 1923 by the American Locomotive Company and spent its career based out of Alamosa, Colorado to clear the east side of Cumbres Pass. The rotary is not self-propelled, so 2 K36 class 282 steam locomotives would be used to push it up the mountain. I decided to head up into the pass to examine some of the potential locations for the photo charter the next day. Saturday, February 29th was the first day of the charter and the first time since 1997 that a rotary snowplow would be used to clear the railroad over Cumbres Pass. On this day, the rotary would be operated from Chama all the way up to the Colorado-New Mexico state line. After a safety meeting in front of the depot just after 8 a.m., participants boarded one of 4 chase buses for the trip up the mountain. The first location was a roadside meadow just past the first railroad crossing over Highway 17.
The Rotary came to a stop just before the Lobato Trestle. It has been a long-time policy of the railroad that only one of the large K-36 locomotives at a time can cross the bridge. So, the OY, water tank car, and locomotive 487 uncoupled from the rest of the train and crossed the bridge. Once the bridge was clear, locomotive 484 with the rest of the train followed across. After one final pass by at State Line, everyone returned to the buses for the trip back to Chama, and the train followed behind. That night, a short photo session was held in the yard at Chama with Rotary OY. Sunday morning brought a few clouds as well as the promise of snow later in the day's forecast. This was the second day of the 2-day charter with a plan to follow the train at least as far as Tanglefoot Curve just on the other side of Cumbres Pass. We caught up with the Rotary outfit just prior to where Highway 17 crosses the tracks at a location known as Coxo. At the Coxo crossing, the train came to a stop to fill up the locomotives with more sand and water. The sand is used to give the train more traction on the steep, slippery climb up the hill. Crews go through sand pretty quickly on these Plow extras. With supplies replenished, the train pushed on for Cumbres. In a flurry of snow, Rotary OY performed one final run-by at the summit of Cumbres Pass. Originally, the plan was to have the train continue on past the summit. However, after discovering ice frozen in the Highway 17 crossing, it was decided to call it a day. What an exciting experience and a successful 2 days of mountain winter railroading at its finest.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining me on this trip to see Rotary Snowplow OY back under steam. If you enjoyed this video, let me know. Leave a like and a comment below. If you want to see new railroad adventures like this every week, you are more than welcome to subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you get alerts of all my videos and update posts I make on the community tab of the channel page. And remember, every Friday at 9 a.m. there's a brand new railroading adventure headed your way right here on the YouTube channel. That's it for now. Until next time, I'm Mike Armstrong. I'll see you down the line. Thanks for watching.